Welcome to off the cuff, short notice, and hopefully just a short bonus fifth episode. We're gonna riff off the previous one, call it Revenge of the Fifth Episode. In this, we have Darth Yoda joining Wolfy and I, and we're going to go over a couple topics. One is his Legend League thoughts and its Matrix mode of where it comes to get you, where I give my thoughts, where from a more technical perspective, what I think is going on. In here, we're also going to talk about hard mode, as well as we're going to do live on the podcast the 1v1 of the tournament hit, and both Darth Yoda and Wolfy matched as their first round, and we're just going to do it live on the podcast. Right. And we have a surprise guest today, FuzzyBeaverNuts, who we all know and love. He's the leader over at The Rated, where I go and keep him in line as his co-leader and you know, your friendly neighborhood war chief. What do you think, Darth? Let's talk about Matrix and the mode in Legends League that you think goes on.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys having me back on again. That last episode was quite a marathon, wasn't it? What was it, like an hour and a half long?
Hour and a half after editing, yeah.
After editing, that's crazy. So you guys are kind of nuts for having me back then.
What I'm known for. Oh wait, that's Fuzzy.
Glutton for punishment, I guess.
That's fired.
So we in the last episode we touched on a couple of topics, and there were some topics that we weren't able to get to, and we wanted to kind of get together to discuss it. And one of the things that we had talked about on the podcast that maybe we can get into a little bit more in depth with this conversation is like kind of what's going on in Legends League, right? What has been going on in Legends League for a long time. And I made an analogy on the podcast that it was like when the beginning of the movie The Matrix, when Neo is in the Matrix and he doesn't know that he knows there's something wrong with the world, but he doesn't know what it is, right? And that's kind of the way Legends feels like to me sometimes. And it was, I had talked about like a Legends slapback that happens, and Fuzzy and I have talked about this multiple times one-on-one, where if you have a really good day in Legends, inevitably the very next day you're gonna get a slap back. The algorithm's gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna probably play bad, and you're gonna take a lot of really tough defenses. The kind of crazy thing was talking about living in the Matrix and deja vu, or whatever word you want to use to describe it, was that evening. Drac and I were we were having a conversation via Discord about Legends and what was going on, and I said, well, here, I'm going to share with you two screenshots of my two accounts that I currently run in Legends. And to give some background on those accounts, they're basically identical. There are very little differences between the two accounts. And I also run the same exact army comp on both accounts. Okay. And obviously the same player piloting those accounts during the Legend attacks. And that night that we spoke, I said, here, I sent him two of my screenshots. I said, this is my performance. I said, this is account A, this is account B. Account A is my main account B is my secondary account. And I said, what had ended up happening was on account B, my secondary account, I had a really, really good Legends day. And then on my main account, I had a really poor Legends day. And I told Drac, I said, look, I could set my watch by this. I said, tomorrow I'm going to send you a screenshot. And I said, these two accounts will completely flip flop. And I'll have a really good day on the other and a really bad day on the other one. And that's exactly what ended up happening. I sent him over those screenshots. He took a look at them. We had some further conversation. We're like, well, hell, let's just get together and maybe we can kind of figure out what's going on here. It almost feels like to me that a couple of things that would happen. All right. So it feels like that the algorithm is trying to adjust for people who gain too much or people who lose too much. All right. So it's like trying to find your lane on where you should be at as a player. Okay. So let's say I gain 50 cups and I'm already at 5,800. Okay. That would be a huge jump from where I'm at 5,800. Well, the algorithm goes, well, this guy's not a 5,900 player. And it somehow, I don't know if punishes you is the right word, but something happens and it pulls you back down, even though you're using the same exact strategy and you're basically hitting at that level of Legends League, you're hitting the same bases every day. Because most people are running like 20 different bases that you're hitting. So I don't, and I don't really know exactly what is going on with it. we have friends in the creator program, so I had them ask Supercell like how the algorithm worked, and the answer that they got back was that you get randomly placed, you get randomly assigned 8 opponents at the start of each Legends Day, based off of where you were at the end of that day. But to me, it just feels like there's more to the story, or more that's going on behind the scenes on how the whole algorithm matchmaking system works. What say you guys?
It's so weird. To me, it's not so much the day to day of the algorithm. It's more like if you gain a lot of cups in the first few days of Legend season, you'll hit 5,500 really early, and then you will just stay there for like a week. But then you'll see other people who won't push until maybe the day before get above you. I mean, they're just not taking any defenses because they're so low when they start. I think that kind of plays into it too. And I mean, when you jump up a large amount of cups at one time, you are going to get placed in a higher bracket with players that are better. So you will take more triples on defense. It's so weird how you can have a great day and then you can almost guarantee a 320 on defense. Even if you really don't jump up that many cups, like if you're above 5,700 and go up 20, you'll get hammered on defense the next day.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's less that Supercell has coded something in that is saying, oh, you were too successful or you were too bad. I think it just happens naturally by the way that they coded it up. And this is where I was wanting to get the technical discussion of they have close to 1.1 million players that have the Legends badge or roughly that are in Legends League. So every day that they're going to have to get through sorting and randomly assigning 1 million accounts, and they do it in roughly 15 minutes. And going into a database and going and trying to do the matching is just going to be way too slow to do that. So they do what's a cache. And that's where they keep probably the list of people who are in Legends in memory, where it's much faster to go and grab things that are in there. And my guess is they probably also do it to where it's in pools of players, for efficiency. It's not going to be like all 1 million in the same grouping. They probably cluster it and like might keep 100,000 in each one. And then over time, as you hop between these clusters, if you are if you hop up and you cross a boundary, you are newer in that list, and you are more likely to then probably grab, folks that are in there. And so I just think by nature, as you're hopping through these things, and you hit certain barriers where I think a lot of us have seen like at 5,300, 5,500. 5,700 seems to be these like 200 cup windows that I think they probably cluster around for their matching. And I think as you break through, you're just naturally going to do that. And so I think where people have a good day is when you cross these thresholds and you wind up in a new pool that you just get better and better players. I don't think it's punishing you like, oh, you did well. I think you just literally crossed into a cluster that has better attackers and better bases.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
I've definitely had days where I cross up into 5,500, 5,600, and I just get absolutely demolished on defense. Like after a perfect day and perfect defense.
And the further up you go, it's smaller. It's a smaller and smaller number of players. So you're more likely as you move up to statistically face more challenging folks. And I think they also search within like a cup range of I think their matching algorithm tries to do like plus or minus 100 cups to 150 cups on either side of you in general. I don't think they are, going to do that. But if you start crossing thresholds to where that 150 cups, they don't have enough players, you might be getting ones that are, at 5,900. And I've seen that on days where I've pushed, especially above 5,800, I just get slammed by players who've all finished in like the top 5,000 of the world, just because the pool that I entered at that time was probably like the top 10, 20,000 players who are currently playing.
Yeah. And, for me, when I get up that high, getting hit hard on defense it sucks and it's demoralizing, but it's kind of expected because you are playing with better players. It's like some days I'll hit 7 out of 8 attacks and I'll feel like I'm unstoppable. And then the very next day, it feels like my dragons are way more squishy. My heroes can't take as much damage. They don't deal as much damage. It just feels weird the next day when I hit like 4 of 8. That's the thing I can't explain.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if you truly feel that, and this is where I don't think Supercell does it, is because people can just take screencasts and go and say, look, this dragon took 7 hits and went down, and this other one, the next day, when I'm quote unquote being punished, it's went down in 5. Then people can record that and submit that as evidence. Like, yeah, there something weird is going on, or whatever it is. Just think, it's just like, are we like, oh, I did it really good, I'm going to get punished. Therefore, you're looking for ways that you think you're going to be punished, where it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, or there's the confirmation bias that you're looking for. It's like, aha, I was right. It is out to get me, sort of feeling.
I think it's a psychological thing also.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that plays a part in it. But what Fuzzy's saying though is something I've experienced as well. And Drac, you and we spoke a little bit about that as well. But yeah, it almost feels like you're playing a different game. Like it's almost like going from normal mode to hard mode, and it just switches like from day to day. Like I'll run the same exact strategy against the same base and destroy it, and I'm playing well. And then the very next day, it just seems like I've entered into hard mode, and all the defenses are putting out 20% more DPS. It's strange, and it could be psychological. And I think that is something that plays a part in it. But I do think there might be something else going on as well, because it's jarring. Like it's not like small changes. Like what Fuzzy said, like the dragons will melt. Like they'll just go away, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Oh, I've seen it too. I'm like, where did my roots and Valks go? They just disappeared. And I have experienced that myself, but I just haven't taken the time. Like, okay, I'm gonna go record it and like go frame by frame and like, oh, who's taking DPS and what? And like, because it's so provable, I don't know if Supercell would actually do it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything they're doing intentionally.
No.
And really to your point that you could figure it out, but I feel like there's something going on. Maybe unintentional. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's my point, is like the clustering of the players is at when you're dealing with such a large pool, Supercell may not know what's going on in production in terms of the matching, because in order to actually go figure out, you're going to have to throw a data scientist at it. You're going to have to get, 8 million attacks on a daily basis and do analysis on who hit who, and doing, and then trying to figure out trends, and then finding out the whys behind that trends. I just don't think they're paying that much attention to it.
So, what do you think they should do to rework Legend League?
That's a whole podcast episode of like, what
Seriously.
are the ways they could do that?
Yeah.
But I think I think they need to do more of like a laddering system versus random matching, where you're going to enter in ladders and you're going up and down, the ladders versus just random draws. So where, by the time you're at the end of the season, you are playing, like, if you're truly vying for number 1, it's not based off of random matching. It's based because you've accumulated points against, the number 2 through 10, like the top 8 players on the last day are the ones who should be, is your goal to find them.
So
and
you're-
they're the ones who should be shorting it out on the last day. That's how you go and quote unquote fix Legends League.
So you're
Yeah,
saying
I,
that
I,
it
I would
would
agree
be
with that
better
system
to-
as well. I think that'd be great.
So you're saying it would be more similar to like the Clash Royale kind of system, where they have the different ladders going up, where after each level you get this new like almost bracket of certain players who are also in that ladder, and you could do like every 100 cups is a different ladder type of thing. Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Different. You'd have to figure out like how to handle it at 1 million and try and make it fair. It's not a simple fix when you have so many players at it.
I think they should just make all of Legends hard mode.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I don't think you should make that a cup level. I think it should just be all of Legends. You sign up for it, you know what you're in for.
No, I agree. I mean,
I think it would make everything a lot more interesting, especially with like defenses being way more common. And when you get that triple, it feels like a real like satisfaction to it.
I also think they need a quick eject button from Legends if you need to get out of it though.
Well, I think that's required no matter what, is the it's like, get me back to Kansas, thank you type of situation.
I don't know why they don't have that now. It seems like something that would be really easy to implement.
yeah, and people have been asking for that for a long time.
I think it's more of the case of, one, does it provide value that people are willing to, does it draw them into the game more? They may not have tested it. And then the other is, people, maybe the pain of people complaining like, I accidentally hit the button, I went from 6,000 to 5,000 or whatever it is, and extreme pain and negativity might be a larger deterrent to implementing it than the benefits of being able to eject.
Well, they can just make it like the wall ring where you have to confirm like 12 times that you want to use it before it actually gets used.
Stupid wall rings.
All right. Any other thoughts on Legends League?
I have nothing.
No, I'm good.
I'm trying to beat Yoda this month.
Well, where are
Good
you at right
luck.
now? Let's take a peek. Let's see. I still have defenses though, so I think you're actually ahead of me.
No, I'm behind you by like 46 cups,
Wow.
56 cups, but you have 2 defenses left. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I nearly rage quit the night that we had the episode. So I'm like, I'm gonna bow out of super competitive Legends this season. I'm like, nope, taking it too seriously. I'm just gonna float at 5,600 and call it good.
Damn. Hard mode is.
Oh, speaking of which, let's talk hard mode. Who wants to start?
It's a lot harder with those nerfs.
Okay. All right, Darth, your thoughts. Like you're doing esports, so
Yeah.
this really impacts you.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of start off with the differences now. So like what's changed in hard mode? So the equipment that didn't get changed. So there's an equipment cap of I think it's what is it 21 for epic and 15 for common equipment when you're playing in hard mode. Now in the old hard mode, so before this most recent update, the defenses were also they were buffed. They buffed out 5% more additional DPS across the board. Okay. So what they changed here very recently in hard mode is they buffed the defenses to 20% DPS, additional DPS over their normal DPS. So when you think about it, we've gone from 5% all the way up to 20%. So that is on paper a very significant change, right? That's a big jump. Supercell normally doesn't take those types of leaps. So on paper, it looks like a pretty big deal. Now, what's it look like in reality? It's a pretty big deal, folks. We just had our first esports match in the new hard mode a couple of days ago, and it was 10 really good players. Like these guys aren't slouches, and the match ended up 10-11. And that was the type of results we were seeing back at Town Hall 15 when it was at its peak of nastiness. Those were the types of scores you would see in decent players esport matches. So it's made a significant impact. Now, I'm sure you guys have had the opportunity to do some FCs. Fuzzy, I know you just won your SOG 1v1 against Cliff in hard mode, and I got a chance to see that score. And neither guy tripled, and they're both really good players. I've known both those people for years, and that's what you're going to see now in hard mode. Is it's tough. And to what Wolfy was just saying about you feel really good when you get that triple. You do. Like it's a challenge. I was over in the rated today because we had a friendly war with the rated versus Red Thorn, right? And we were doing a bunch of hard mode FCs, and I think I'm a pretty decent player, and I think I tripled like 1 out of 4 FCs was a triple in hard mode, so it's significant. I think it was needed. I think that esports definitely needed this. I think that there is a small population of the clashers out there that crave this really like a competitive game, right? And it's not the masses. Like I said, it's a small number of people, but those people have been playing the game a long time and they want something to be very competitive. And I finally think this new balanced hard mode is going to give it to us.
Yeah, I think the rates of the tripling is going to be is definitely reminds me of Town Hall 15, and I think it's going to be great for the esport players. I just wish that there was an option to get like in between for people who are like, I want something a little more challenging, but not that bad. But I think in general, in terms of folks who are in the competitive scene, I think it's a huge win.
Yeah, I do too.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so I think Worlds this year, if they keep this percentage, they might tweak. My guess is they might tweak it a little bit more, make it where you see like 14 to 13s versus the 11 to 10s. I think like at the competitive level, like you should be getting a couple triples per war at least versus like the last thing we need is 10v10 and being like which person had enough percentage or which time. So I think maybe minor adjustments coming, but there'll also be still adding more levels to buildings. So I think I'm quite hopeful for Worlds this year to be a true test of the esports teams.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have a specific team you're wanting to win?
No, not really. I just like to watch the matches. I'm not really like a fanboy or anything to any particular team.
I mean, I want our Clash Files family to do well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's who I'm rooting for.
Oh yeah, we're gonna root for our local folks for sure, but
Full-time jobs.
Probably hoping Synchronic wins. Didn't they win last year? But yeah, Synchronic, Catfish is over there, so we have that connection. So I'm pulling for them, pulling for those guys. They're a bunch of good dudes.
yeah, I like the Synchronic guys.
Here on the same wavelength. We doing
Okay,
that right
folks, it's showdown time. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sit here with silence for 6 minutes. We'll go and do this, and we'll just fast forward to the results and talk about it. You're my favorite kid on here. How's that?
now? Hey.
All right, so Whoopi, you haven't done one of these before, right?
No, I've not.
Okay, are you familiar with how they operate?
Kind of.
Okay, so basically, what we'll do is when we're both ready, we'll both post an FC in hard mode. Okay, we'll have a total of 5 minutes each to scout the base, and at the end of the 5 minutes, we go in at the same time, and we each hit each other's base at the very same time, and then obviously the winner is the winner, whoever comes out on top.
Oh, okay.
Does that make
thought
sense?
It was I thought you just full sent it, and we can do it one at a time, so both of us could see it.
No, yeah, because if
Yeah,
you
you do
think
it
about
sometimes.
it, you do it at the same time because, like, say I watched yours first and you got a 1-star. Well, then I would have a significant advantage because all I'm going to do is just
Oh,
flip
yeah.
the crap out of the town hall, right? So yeah, so that's why we go at the same time. But we don't need to scout a full 5 minutes. So if both people are ready, you can just go in. Both agree, like, okay, I'm ready, and then
All right.
go for it. All right, so I'm gonna find a base for you here.
I just scouted like a Legends League hit, 30 seconds, and I'm good to go. The more I look at it, I feel like I do worse.
Yeah, that's how I am as well. All right, so Wolfie, I'm
Pick
posting it now
base.
for you. And if you see what I did, I just put your name in there so nobody else hits it. So if you want to post one up.
Yep. Just posted.
Okay.
Ah.
Ooh. Hey, Drac, who are you going to watch? You going to watch Wolfie or Yoda?
I gotta watch my kid.
All right, I'll watch Yoda attack.
All right.
Okay.
I'm scouting into Yoda's now.
All right. I'm ready to go whenever you are. You can take the full 5 minutes if you need it, but I'm ready to go.
Yep.
I hit a base like that earlier in Legend League, Yoda.
The one that I posted.
Actually,
Yeah,
the one that both
I've
of you
hit-
guys posted.
I've hit both of those bases.
Yeah.
I know you've hit mine.
I have might or might not have cursed at Darth's base once or twice when I have hit it.
Oh, Lord.
Usually it's because I had fat finger the invis spell. So it's more of the ODF. And for folks who don't know my slang, ODF means own darn fault.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
There's nothing.
Good luck. Go for it.
Literally
Good
nothing.
luck.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, this is gonna be really bad.
I love that base.
everything is melted.
Yeah. I love that base.
It's going to be close.
Yeah. Everything just kind of melted in the core.
Yeah.
Grief.
This is going to be really close.
We got Wolfblade up to 64% 2-star.
Oh, no
yeah,
way.
you got me.
Yeah.
Darth Yoda finished at 63% 2-star.
Wow.
Wow, good job. Good game,
I
fellas.
was not expecting that.
GG's.
I was expecting to get demolished.
Way to represent the clan and the family. Well done.
I didn't disrespect my dad. Ooh. I wouldn't even climb up to 70.
Thanks for joining us for the surprise episode. This has been fun, and we'll chat soon. Thanks, y'all.